In the first series of presentations that I did this week, I wanted to address a fundamental issue that confronts this movement. The issue of the relationship between men and women. Now, I'm not sure what you're thinking. I'm not sure if you're thinking, this is all we talk about. When are we going to talk about some other issues? Perhaps there's some disconnect between myself and yourselves, if you think that way. As we've been having discussions out of class between some of you and me, it's been interesting to see people's perspectives. And of course, some of you we were together with for the past 3 weeks in Uganda. And some of you I've known for 2 years because we met in Kenya. And some of you I have online communication with. I know some of you are frustrated with me because you regularly give me questions online. They look like this. They're just a list of questions. And I often tend not to answer them. And the reason I don't answer them often is either I will do so in a presentation, or sometimes I have a sense that there's an argument going on, and someone wants me to be the judge to decide who's right and who's wrong. I know that because it's happened so many times, particularly here in South Sudan. And I think the reason for that is because the people here seem open and willing to talk. So I see it as something positive, not negative. But what it does highlight, in my mind, is that there are many misunderstandings. And people are asking genuine questions because they see things in a different way than that which I see them. So I can think and people feel that what they used to understand is no longer correct. So I want to remind everybody that we're all on a journey together. And I certainly don't have all the answers. But for those of us that were in a discussion yesterday outside, hopefully you'll remember that the point I wanted us to get to was not to answer the brother's question.
twal che ba twal ka wan mat ko ka chiti ba ke be.
It's more about understanding the process of how you develop answers.
So ke ka ba loy e ba dil nyot nani aneng tie o jalo gud buku jalo yo.
And for the large part, many of us don't know how to do that.
Kuna yik pa chok ka ko yik ka wok aku cho ke nge ke lo aku twal aku be ber twal be jalio.
And what's more worrying
Ujala ke ko dira pe
is that some of us don't even want to know.
ko wok a chi ke kor be changi je twal e bere di.
We should all be aware, we should all understand.
Wo kor buku dil pa buku dete.
Your salvation is not found in the answers.
Nana lwangdu a chi to ne ber chi ne twal bere.
It's all about how you understand and the journey that you take.
So eti ina datin ujala mamure in ja chatin a gudba ber ba jala yo.
Most of us are not reading correctly.
Ko wok a chi ki gore chi ke kwena pet.
The reason we're not reading correctly is because our approach is wrong.
So ki wok kwena pet ki wok Bible kwena pet ku buku de eti yo Bible kwentin ina karach.
And we don't think.
Wo che tak.
We're just willing to take a statement from inspiration and say, if it says this thing, it must be this way.
So wo ka chi ka gora ayu ka lom ku lel ku na chi kana lel ka to chi choken.
Give a simple example.
Wala ba ka yen ka to.
When dealing with the subject of sin,
Na jamen ne rej.
what does inspiration teach us?
Yung ye ki chi gor yung e pej wok.
It says that after the second advent, when we get to heaven,
Elwele na chi benero de ye chi chira loy ku jol ku la panel.
sin will not arise a second time.
Kare ji chirat ba jot ne kedero.
We're all familiar with that passage.
O nye chi ki chi gor ken.
Another passage. It says in inspiration
Elwele ne ka chi ka gori.
that there will be no tears in heaven.
Elwele ka bi chen dio panel.
All our tears will be wiped away and we'll be happy.
Lelu ku jela dien da ben bi nyai no wonyin.
Most of us, because we have a miserable life here,
Ko wok ko yui ka wok ne ken ne wo pi ra je ten pin ken.
we hate our lives.
O chi pi da chu ku ne.
We want to leave this planet and go to heaven where there will be all this joy and happiness.
So kor buku pan ken kor buku wan ku buku la panel ten ngin me da pyo.
And of course,
Yum da pyo.
that is just not true.
Kena che yi.
For sure there will be tears in heaven.
Ne yi pa chok ka benang dio panel.
For sure there will be sin in heaven.
Benang red panel.
And when people hear strong statements like that,
Na pin ko really chi ka.
they either think that I'm in apostasy,
Ka bi jam ku le yen che lo ne chwali.
or the latest accusation is I'm a Jesuit,
Ko jela ka bo be mane le e jusi.
but they think there's something wrong.
So cha ne ke tak adil nan ke chira wo.
So people open their Bibles and they will read the verses to me.
So ka tha Bible ke li bi ju ka bi chu ka Bible la bi ka kwen ne. Le ke Bible le ki.
And
Biang ke panel.
if you've tried to do that with me, you know what my response is.
So ko na cha ke ne cha tem ba di loy ne kam de. Ke ne yi ka ni ki be de.
Don't read the verse because I can read it as well.
So do the Bible do ne chu ke ne do ne kwen. Lekin ai kwen ai chu kwen ken.
So what I want us to do is think about the models that we have, the ideas, the concepts.
So ka kar buku loy e buku dil ting ye chok de pi ji ni to ke ne wok. Ama ye nyin de ye to ke ne wok.
If we really understood the sanctuary message,
Na yoku pi de kema yoku de.
if we understood what the millennial judgment is about,
Kuna yoku lum de biana bur ron biana bur si gor bung de nyot ke ne yoku de.
I think we could begin to see
Ke ka le buku de ke de kui.
not just how reasonable it is, but how accurate it is that sin will go to heaven and there will be tears there.
so ka le bu de ka de ku je de na ne re je ta pa ne ku ka bene dio e da ka ja ba dia
Just a simple understanding of vow number 12
chi cho da de de lung de baptist tier bro
it would explain much of the problems that we're having, both in our models of heaven and the models that we have here on earth.
so ka le bene ka ju le be ke cha de ka I ne biak de tan da pa ne al je la tan tan pe na meten ke
I don't know how many of you have actually watched those presentations,
aja ku je ko ke din ne wei ke chi pyu war chi ka oi
I don't know how many of you have already been baptized
ko je ko ke di ke chi ka baptist ne wei
and therefore have acknowledged that you understand vow number 12, the nature of man.
so ku ka chi dil a chi ka dil gam na ne ke a chi lung de baptist tier bro chi ka de ne biak de chok de ran
But the reason I'm making that point
ku le la ne ke ne
is at the school in Uganda recently,
ne tukulwan ji loi pa ni Uganda
we began to talk once again of this subject.
ku ka chi jam ne pyu de chok de ran
How many of you have watched those presentations from 2017? There's about 60 of them.
so yo ko ke di ke chi pyu de 2000 runa li fen ku tier ko daro war ne chok de ran ai kan ke te de
How many have watched any of those presentations?
ye nga chi kang dai ne tung de ke ka ke
So quite a few people.
ko ju ke wei
Now I don't know if you appreciate
aja
or you realize
aja ku nan ya ke dil de
that presentation, that study was not complete.
na ne pyu yon ke ne ki to
So people are being baptized
ko ja lui ke baptist
with an incomplete model of the nature of a human being.
ke nang ade ti ye kamel ne biak de chok de ran
The people might be surprised by that,
Ko ja
especially if
lu
they're
ga-
not aware of it.
ko ja le bu gai ne ke ne cha na kuch ke
For those people who put their hands up,
ko ja won ti ke chin jat ne
you will know that the focus of that study
le ba ni chok de ki kor bi pyu chi ne kor bi le
was about one issue:
ai to
the will.
e kor bi jam ne chok de pyo
That was the subject of the nature of a human being.
to ku ke ne ke kor bi pyo ni jam ne chok de ran ne ke kor bi pyo wo
given in-
bi jam ne chok de pyo ko ama le
It was given in 2017.
kene lo kun runali fen ku jala pir ko daro
But this is only half of the study,
kene biak de ka pyo ju ke
the most important half.
ku kene ne ka e biak lekin ate ke japai
What people are not aware of
ke ju ko ki de de
is that before we go to the Levites,
angot ko ken lo tanang li bai
we need to address the second half of that study.
ko kor buku biak de ro de pyo ken kor buku dil de de ja buku rom
So, the will is
pyo
a title that encapsulates those studies, at least in
So-
my mind.
pyo yene ke chi pyo jon chu loi bin yene ke che mati
It's not the only way to explain those studies.
chene kwetung le buo pyo jon ken buo ke yiri chan buku de de
We could describe it
le buku le
as the inner person,
ale buku le ku le pyo ale buku de ke le ko de ajam ran tin
we could describe it as baptism.
ale buku le da na ke ya ke baptism
We could dis- We could describe it as the receiving of a new heart.
ko le buku de ke le ko de elom de pian ju
We could describe it as the receiving of the 10 Commandments into the heart.
alle bu de cái lưỡi của đã cái lùm cái thiê bu cái lần phiêu
We could describe it as Jesus sitting on the throne of your heart as a king.
alle bu de cái lưỡi của đã nan cái phiêu de chọc de ra nó phiêu Giêsu nó ta nên thân nó phiêu cũng như trên như nó phiêu cái mẹ
There are various ways to understand that vow, that subject.
so anh quay đi le bu cái phiêu trên này alle bu de thì
It's all about the inner person,
le biak de chọc de ra thì
symbolized by baptism.
mình chỉ nhua nó baptist
And we've spoken about the heart in three ways.
của chỉ jam nó chọc de phiêu nó ăn cái biak cái điạc
A new heart,
phiêu dứt
the law in your heart,
luôn cái này lấy nó phiêu
and Jesus taking the throne of your heart.
của bi Giêsu be tuân ta ní phiêu be luôn bên như trên cây mẹ
Another way to talk about this study was the lower nature.
để cái chùa giảm thế này đấy để biak để phiêu cái này ấy cho để tăng để ra
It becomes many symbols here.
nên cái duy cái nhớ vô cái thân cái này
So I want to just condense all of that into a singular concept.
của các cái bên nào còn bạc cái ma thì nên nông trục cả bạc cái chơi trục quay trục
The will,
phiêu cho để phiêu
willpower.
để để phiêu để lực
If you can understand the true force of the will,
ý là bao cho để riêng để lực để phiêu là bao đấy
you can understand the nature and the structure of that study.
là bao cho để phiêu cái này giờ là thấy chi này duyên xin là bao đấy
And that's what I want us to see.
của cái này là cả một cái thing
And many of us have not really understood that.
có duy cái work à cái này cái đấy
So hopefully people don't have questions, that they're relatively straightforward with that issue.
có anh toàn của cả cor biết cái này cor biết cái đấy thì giá cái là chập này cái này
Now, as I've said,
mình cho nên luyện
this is only half the study.
cái này biết để cái chú của
There's more to discuss than just this subject.
anh cái duy có bu cái rom ở ngoài cái chế cái này thôi
Perhaps the defining passage that we would want to look at
anh gà trong cor bu cái này đấy
would be Steps to Christ, page 47.
ở bung chú gor nhàn cái đây là gì vậy thì cho là cái nông cái số apa termuan của taro
Chapter 5. It's called Consecration.
chapter the big của cái jam nan gam the rot because tan nong nè
The concept of consecration is very similar to sanctification.
so cho the gam the rot because be nè là tong nè đó cái này because wa because la chat nong nè
To consecrate means to set yourself apart for a special use.
so chan barat gam nè là cái barat we khi cái chi nè là duy benang cái lối này
So many of us
có duy cái wo
don't know how to give ourselves to God.
có duy cái wo có cút gam le vua gam nè là
We want to,
wo cor bu gam nè là
but we find that we're weak. We don't have power.
ở cái yok nè này wo chirier le vua gam nè là vua đi coi nhiều
We can't control ourselves. We are out of control.
wo chi rồi đi đút wo chi dal le đua ra thì
She then says in response to this issue,
cái jam cái bê đấy cái này
what we need to understand
cái cor bu cái đấy thì
is the true force of the will.
ấy cho the pion the real pion ra
She says this is the governing force
le cái này vậy cái pion ra mu
in the nature of a human being.
ni cho the ran
She says this, what you need to understand is the true force of the will.
le cái cor bu cái đấy thì ấy cho the real the pion the lực
This is the governing power in the nature of man.
Kukene yene ke kirir ye chok de man ran ye muk.
The power of decision, the power of choice.
Ariel de tak ukariel de luch.
Now, if you want to do a study on the nature of man,
Na korba dil ramne ni chok de ran.
the book to go to is Steps to Christ.
Bung kor bilatin bung chugor nyan ka dalen jiwa de chola ket non kereso.
This would be the manual that you would use to understand the construction of a human being.
Kene yene ke bung tung kor balum ba chok kine ne le chiran kine chak balum.
If you went through the study of this book,
ne bung kene.
you'll see that it's really dealing with the issue of the inner person.
Akala ba de ke ting ke jamen tin ret e chok kine ne le chiran chak ke ran long tin.
That's its focus.
Kene ne ke keluen.
There's another study that needs to be done connected to this.
Anang fil de kor buguloy marken eken.
This was only half of the study.
Kene ai biak de ki chukuromon.
There's another half that needs to be done.
Kanang biak dang kor buku matine da goya kame.
Now, this study
Fil kene
that was done in 2017,
Panchilo no ran fen kutir ku daro.
if I can express it this way,
Luelanin chiman benelel kene.
was given to the movement
Egem na kunom kene.
in order to allow us to come to the close of probation,
Buog juer tio de bam de kai de pio.
in order to receive the midnight cry message.
Buog juer buku piu de chot kau buku lom.
There are many subtle points that we need to understand, but I want to see it from that perspective.
Anang ka juj kor buka de jitel lekin akar buku ting ne chokin.
The study is given
Pikin a chigam.
to help us to prepare to receive the midnight cry, which would bring us to the close of probation in 2019.
Pikin e bi nale chan buog juer buku pi de chodit ka buku lom ku buog juer tio de bab. Yena runa lipen kutir ku tomwan pa tir ku tok.
We find ourselves in a new dispensation with new challenges.
Ochira diok ne ri wachich ama ne gade rad wachich kanen ka juj nan wo ke ka jot.
And the challenges that are confronting this movement
Ujela ka juj ke chia ku num kene chi ka de ben
are multifaceted.
ajju ja pe.
What is a person allowed to wear? What are they not allowed to wear?
Yongu chi pal ran bi cheng ku yongu kene pal ran chan bi cheng.
I don't speak about trousers.
En si jam ne bantelin.
How do we address the issue of adornment?
Yoku jam din ne bia ka wedi ko loj ko myo ne ka ka yit ujela ka juj ko.
Can people wear makeup? Can they wear jewelry?
Lebih ki rut myo ji manakir ka bu rut myo ne gwer ka dew.
Then there comes the issue of nationalism.
Ko bo dang jam ne biak de chok de yinga pandin.
What makes the United States the glorious land?
Yongu ye pan da America ye choi pan pit pa la ji.
The oil,
Ye janto pandin
the climate,
ye chok de pindin
the coal, like charcoal, coal,
ye mineral de ni choi coal kan.
the minerals, yes. The natural resources. Is that what makes America the glorious land, so glorious?
Ye ne kira America choi pan pit ye ne ali je Bible le ka pan pit ye ne chol pan pit America.
Is that what we mean when we talk about the glorious land?
Ye ne ke ku le de jam wok ne biak de pan pit pan ni chol America.
Because if you go back to the original,
Na lor ni chok de ke gat
the literal story,
ne ni chok da ko kul tiech
God's people were put into Canaan, the glorious land,
ke koi kan ne ale a ti ka biler pan de kenan manene pan pit.
not only because it had natural resources, there are other places that were just as fertile.
E chi nan ne ka ju ke jak tin ten de ki aneng bay ko ke de ke pit ke le bu ke luok ti man ne pan de kenan ne luok ni mi.
In many ways,
Ne dol ju
the land of Shinar
ka pa na China
Had
dan
much-
pa na Babylon
better resources than Canaan did.
enen ka juj ka bañ ka juj ka japtin a war pa na Canaan
How do we know that?
ni ku Canada
Because that's where they built the Tower of Babel.
ketene e ku ni ne yim ci ke pan pa woni bedi de Babel ci ke yik pa na China
This is the place that they were going to have as the citadel of this one world power.
so ku pan ke ne ke pan ci ke tak bi ki won bedi de fain di de bi ke de loy bi a ku nom di bi pin nom mai ka ku nom tok
Shinar would have been the most glorious land.
pan na Babylon ide ne pan di pet ku ne pan ci nom ma pe
Now, perhaps we're not aware of it now,
kena chu ku ni ci men
but when these arguments were being discussed between ourselves and the church 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
so on ye ka ke juir ne kam da wona kanisa na run ka tier ku di ci lo ka run ka tier wa ci lo ka
one of the arguments that kept on coming up over and over again
tung de ka ke ben yal ke tier to wona
is the glorious land, the church,
ka ke lel ke pan ci dom ke ni kanisa
in some shape or form?
ne kanisa ci juir ke ci yik
Or is it a geographical area?
kai cho de pin
Church.
kanisa
Is it the Seventh-day Adventist Church?
kanisa de seven day
Is it Protestantism?
kai kanisa de protestant
Is it this movement?
ya ku nom ken
So even today,
ku ci ko le
there are people who are new in the movement
coi jut ne aku nom kene
who are trying to discuss this issue
man dia juga kor bigi ka for bi ka dete
of what the glorious land really is.
man yati nana pa an pet the bible le ti ye kan
I even had a discussion with someone 2 weeks ago on this very subject.
so ne ki ye ne ki nen jam kan randang ne aku kul kan aku kul pa an pet de kan ne wi ke ro wa jilla
And they were from your congregation.
ka ka ton ne wi jite
So I know it's an issue here in South Sudan.
nye ke tung de ka le ne junu pete
Because it wasn't just one person.
che ran to
When we were addressing these issues,
on jam wok ne kan
and we started to develop the arguments that the United States is the glorious land,
ku jël ku ye piye ke ne jël ku bay neal nane pan America ene ke pan ci nom ene ke pan ke
the basis of the argument
ki ye wo koitin
was not that the United States had all the natural resources.
e ci nane ene ke pan America anen ka juyi ke bani ben
The issue was,
ki ye ku lel ke
when it spoke about glory,
na jamne nom
was power.
area
That the glorious land, the United States, is the most powerful nation on this planet.
ke nane pan nom pan America e pan ye ne ride
And we developed,
e pen ken nom
various arguments for that.
ku jël ku ka juyi ye wo ke ne cho ka jël ko bay neal
Not only Daniel 11,
e ci Daniel tier ku to ke to
we'd go into Daniel 2 to show that.
wo ci la ne Daniel rawaya da buku ken nyot
We'd go into Revelation 17 and show that.
loko ne bung da nyot tier ko doro ko nyot ku ken
And of course, Revelation 13,
aguti nyot tier ko dia
which are all issues that people are asking today
wo ci ka ju ke ti ka ke ne ko la chu ka bi nyot
here in this camp.
ne ya ko nom ken
How do we understand chapter 13, chapter 17, chapter 12 of Revelation?
yoko nyot tier ko doro ko tier ko dia ko de jade
Daniel 2.
bung da Daniel ro
The reason these questions keep on coming up over and over again
ki ye 12 ki ke ben ne al ne ta to ko ben
is because we don't understand what is so glorious about that country.
so ki chu ku de te e yong ye bible en jam ne nom de pan America yong nom de
Until 2016, it became absolutely clear that our previous position was correct.
so kun runa le pen ku tier ku da tem ka chu jal beti nane ki ku le ni chok de nom de pan America e yich
When I say it became crystal clear in 2016,
le la nen ku le ke chi e chi la char ne runa le pen ku tier ku da tem
I'm going to say that I'll give some further evidence on that issue.
Anh nên cái duyệt chắc cái mà thì để ban cái này để ban cái nhỏ.
It should have been absolutely clear.
Edi chi lá chặt.
Initially, this movement
Nó gọi chỉ cái áo nôm cái này.
understood that Donald Trump would be the next president.
So cái chi áo nôm cái này chỉ để thì cái bánh đa America để cái chi bánh này là tôi nằm năn á. Ye này cái bia bánh với bà bánh là tôi nằm Donald Trump.
Ask people for their own reasons for saying the following.
So anh coi thì cái này luyện.
My analysis is the following.
Cụ cái cha bên luyện cái.
We became scared.
Cụ cái chỉ địa là phải.
We were not confident in our message.
Cụ cái chín coach the pure ne cái yêu của pure chỉ.
And we got to the place where we said that maybe it will be him and maybe it will not.
Thì chú ở đó bên tháo thì này chú có gió về luyện của yên. Thế để về ai yên, cái thế để chỉ về ai yên.
In 16, we had all the information to understand what makes the United States so glorious. We'd been studying it before. We had identified correctly what that nature of glory actually meant. And when that theory began to be put into practice, or we could see it before our eyes, like an animal that freezes when you shine a torch into their face,
so
when you have to put your theory into practice, where you have to open your mouth and that should be in agreement with what you think, we fell apart. The movement crumbled. And even today, not enough of us correctly identified what the issue was then. We make excuses that we didn't have enough information in 16. So in 16, it became, we then had the evidence before our eyes about what we used to preach. The glorious land. What makes that country so glorious? What is that glory referring to? Pride, power, arrogance.
So ye like the rot, ye
that's what this glory was referring to. We used to teach this more than 10 years ago. And in 2016, you had the clear demarcation between two government systems.
So
one that was not about being glorious,
President
President Obama, and one that was about being glorious, candidate Trump. All the evidence was before us. We did not need to go to the beginning of Daniel 11 and see who was the richest president that's ever been. We didn't need to do that.
na bung da dan tier ko
If we had identified and followed through with everything that we knew,
ti chu we de ti ku jol ku de ko pan ku chuk ni ka ni ku ke ben
that it's a real land,
na ne pan ken
and the glory of that land
ku nom de pan ken
is not its natural resources, it's the fact that it's a proud country.
che ka chi ne le ka chak tin de ki ne chok de pan chi ne le chi nyo da ne pan rat le
When that candidate opened their mouth
wan liep ke ko jon kai pan America liep ke to ke jam
and said, I will begin to dismantle, to undo 8 years of history,
wan liep ban America Donald Trump wan Yemen kulen an batok liep wan an be jam na ko kul run war ke ber chi lo ko bar yo ka ko kul ken cham
and
pa cha tam
he promised to do what?
yo mo chi belwel belon
What did he promise to do?
yo mo chi don yo mo chi belwel ke ko belon
Make the USA
yo mo chi lel belon lel America ba cha dit re
I don't want to say great,
America ka ba cha dit ba dir man wan tere dir ken
he wanted to make it glorious again.
ki kor bilo ya kor ba America ba choi pan chi nom ne ke dero
America was special,
el America e pan churad we eloi to
better than any other nation.
eloi to ke war be ko tan pin na ben
That was the issue in 2016.
kini ne ke ki chura loy ne runali pen ku tier ku data
And that was in complete agreement with our understanding of what the glorious land of verse 41 was.
ku kene ine ke chok de yig de nani nom de pan America to gor Daniel tier ku to chok terman ku to
For more than a decade before, we had understood all of that.
nurun ka tro chilo run ka tier chilo war kene yo ku de ti benia
So when the theory gets put into practice and it becomes a living reality,
na yo ku kayu ka tak yo ka ta no loy jel ka ya ka loy ret ka kayu ka woy no nyin
what do?
yo ku loy
We fail the test.
ka wok woy da yu woy tema yo chu ku lew ne tiep
Do we know we've failed the test? Do we know that we have failed?
yo ku nyit na ne yen ka tem chi yen wo ken
No.
ken ku tiam
We don't know.
chu ku nyit
Because what happens is
ki ra loy ke
we defend ourselves and say, we don't know.
woy ret gel ku lel ku ken chu ku nyit nan chu ku yi ka ken ku yi
2 years later,
run ke ro wan chi ben ali fen ku tier ku da tem
the proof of all of this will come to light.
cái duyên cái các cái gì chỉ giờ bên nhau bên cái hồi có hồi nào vậy
A discussion occurs
cái chuyện bên lối cái
around how America is constructed.
chỉ cho để tan China America China cho bình cái bài
Its nature, its property.
tan tao en cũng giờ là cái này
And this discussion is not between two American factions.
cú có giảm cái này chỉ trên cả để đã cú mai cái rồi ama tiếng này đã America cái rồi
This is a discussion that's occurring in this movement
cái này cái lời rất nào cũng nằm cái này giảm lời rất nào cũng nằm
between two groups of people.
này cam đã coi cái rồi
Americans and non-Americans.
cái chuyện ra bên lối nhà cũng nằm cái này chơi betek ng American cũng giờ là coi cha American
And these non-Americans
cũng coi cha American cả
are telling the people from the glorious land
lỡ coi tập bản America cho nôm cái
that they don't know what's going on,
chỉ cái gì dùng lời đó
that they're wrong.
anh cái ai coi chuột
These people
coi cái
point to the glorious people and say, you are wrong.
ai coi cả bản America chỉ cái bây giờ liệu cũng lấy với cái chuột
And what do you think the Americans say?
dùng một cha American với
Who are you
ngày giác ý ngà
to tell us
chan ba cái lẽ wo
the people who are so powerful,
coi win ri la pe
who are so special,
coi chin chi coi lời thổ
who are you to tell us that we're wrong?
yi ngai we chan ba cái giá lẽ wo nani we chi wo
Don't you know who you're talking to?
ku coi cái we coi jam wo cái
You're talking to what people?
jam wo yi ngai
The glorious people.
yin jam wo nó coi chi tiang người muom
So their true colors began to show
cho đến chi cái jam gọi là nhớ
of arrogance,
để cho cái win nom riêng
of pride.
vậy là lấy ra rất
Now, I'm not saying they made any laws,
cha lớn của là cái nên lùng chỉ cái biết lối
but they were no longer talking like a lamb.
ấy cái chi jam chứ mình để nhon đam mà
They began to speak like another power.
chỉ biết jam chứ mình cho để bung để nhớ real đằng Bible real mình
And then they began to make war with the remnant of God's seed.
so của giờ cái trong gol chẳng biết cái lối cái này cái chỉ đông cái này là
So I want us to see
cái nào cả bút tin
that the subject of the glorious land
nên phía de pan chứ nón
is about people thinking they're better than other people.
ai ye nó phía nên nó có gì jam cái tiết cả war coi cọc
This is the subject of nationalism.
cái này phía gì jam nên kia coi chế pan
This study is,
coi cọc bị cái hội cái năng riêng
this study is given in 17.
so phía cái này cái game này runali pen của thier của đó
The glorious land issue comes up in 16, a year before.
so ku phía de pan America cái pan chứ nón bon runali pen của thier của detem runtuk có jalan runali pen của thier của đó
In fact, it's actually 2 years before.
so ku này cái bo cái run cái rồi cái lipen thier của đó cái ken bay
As President Obama,
wan chin Milik Obama
in 2015,
runali pen của thier của đấy
is beginning to make significant strides in correcting the direction in which the United States is headed.
ku de ke loi chuk penyadit benyot nane tele pan America le tin
Someone begins to get raised up visibly
Quran ci jal bi jat nyal
Who
ko
claims-
ko ci ben
who claims they will fix the problem.
ran ci rat bi nyot nane na kur bi kan wan America ka bi ke chok
Did President Obama believe in this?
ban Obama ye ka ke gam
No.
ake ci ke gam
And that was his problem.
ku ke ne ke nwane
That he didn't believe the United States was so glorious after all.
e ci gam nane pan America e pan ci no
Whether you like him or dislike him,
na nyaren kaman
he had an 8-year mission
enen luai ci gam ina run ke be
to turn the United States
chan bu pan America
into a land
bị chơi bài bài cái chế bản trên nón
and to destroy its glory.
của Việt Nam đấy để đi riêu
And as he came to the end of his presidency,
còn biên thuộc để bánh đấy
the final act of that we could all see
cái chuyện giao bị lối thuộc đấy chú cụ tin ngồi nhìn
was the issue of same-sex marriage that became one of the major turning points of his presidency in 2015.
so cái chuyện giao bị lối thế em biết để thiệt để coi thông ý thức của mình ý thức của giờ làm mình của mình
Of course, the other issue that is associated with his presidency is the issue of healthcare.
so ku kaneng dang ada ne tau ke da jam ne bain de ne biak de pya logop ke cheloi long de pya logop che bai be
We should all be familiar with that. They call it Obamacare.
so kor bu ku del ni che ken ai chole ke de pya logop ne Obama
We've all heard of that.
chu ku ni chole Obama ke
Yes?
ku ni je ben
Whether you agree with it or not,
ti ne gam ka che gam
that's not what we address.
ke kana che ne ke jamo
If we can distill that issue into a singular concept, it's the following.
na buku lom bea ke tok cái là buku dia kita kuala
He wanted health care for everybody.
ko piala gop to nong ra na ben ko nyinti na biak de piala gop nong ra na ben pan America
And he gets rejected.
bo jaj
What we need to understand,
ko buku de
the reason why the United States does not have a national health service
ke pan America en chen aku num tungawin pan den ya ko myo biak de piala gop
is because of one singular issue:
ke de tuk we to ka ba
racism.
biak de ting de tuk ne biak chino ko chak tin den
That's why they don't have a national health service.
we ne ke chen aku num nyinti ne piala gop pan America
Because it was a racist issue.
kene ko tek tok ne biak de ko ge je la ko cho
And he wanted to fix that problem.
ku kene ko de del chopin de la chap
The law gets put into place. The law gets put into place
lu nga ci jal betao
in 15,
runali pen ko ter ko di
same-sex marriage.
biak do woni ko tik ko tik ke te al ko mo
Same time,
ya ta tum
someone's going to be raised up,
ko je ja ka jat ne
begins to say what? What does he begin to say?
ko ci ke be al ko wa ko be ne al pan America
I'm going to go to see if I can become the president,
so ke tan ke na ci ja be jat ne al je le pyo na ni la ko tem chat ba di la ba ni pan
and I'm going to make the United States special again.
ko pan America ba chok ye pan lời tốt
To put the glory back in place.
ba nom den ke ne ba del tok te de
All of that is happening in 16.
ko ke ne lời rat na runali pen ko ter ko de
We already understood this more than 10 years before.
ke ne chu ko de ti na run ke tier won chela
In 2018,
runali pen ko tier ko bet
this issue is going to confront the movement.
ke ne be ko nom ke ne ba ben tin ko be ko kor be de ti
This discussion here.
ye ke lel ko ne biak de pan America ko je la wor ko ko ta America
2 years of Donald Trump's influence
run ke ro chin ba na America chin ko myoy ni
doesn't infiltrate into our movement.
ekin bi ben ne aku nom kidani
It didn't make people change their position.
ekin ko bi chawar ne biak de kai ka deti
What it did was
ki bi loy ke
reinforce their position and legitimized it.
chi ki ke tak ki jo bi cherit je choi je choi ke chan ne lung
So people in the movement,
ko ta na ku nom
these ones,
ko ke pan America
after 2 years
run ke ro
of making America great,
on chin Donald Trump chen lel bi pan America ba chok
Well, now-
ki ba di ke daro
we're now willing to speak out
ke chirut dal yire chan bi ko ba jamaya
to destroy every Christian principle that we should all believe in,
chan bi ki lung de kersano yu ku gam ben bi di ryo
we'll just take one.
a chetok jabe lo
This world is not our home.
pin kene che pin da
We're all ambassadors here.
wo go ma ke ni ten
The kingdom of God is not of this world.
ching de panel che ke de pin no
That issue got destroyed.
kene a chi bi ryo
Here in 2018,
runal pen ku tier ku ba
and people became emboldened
ko ja chi jal bi ya ko ja win chi ke nim nyaj
to speak their mind,
bi ke nim luen
to say the following:
bi ke ka ja luen
that people who are not Americans,
na ne ko ta pan America
they are not able, they don't have the qualifications
a chi le bi ke nen ke le bi ke nyua
to speak to Americans and tell them what to do.
chan bi ke jam na American York yung le bi ke leu na luor
Are any of you American here?
ran pan America to no we jitin
No. Do you think
yetak
being a member of this movement, a priest,
chan baya priest baya banyi ka ke ne le nya ko num kene
that you could go to America
chan bala pan America
and have a meeting with these Americans
ku lo nang phe yo ne ke ka American ka
and tell them how to behave properly.
ku ba ka yo ke chan bi ko pi ra pet de
Do you think you could do that?
chi le ba loi kan
Do you think you can go into their systems, the way they think, and show them that they don't know what they're doing?
so chi le ba de ki lo na cho ke tek tin ku ba de ke nyo de ke na ne ke loi ke a ku ke
Who thinks they're not qualified because they're not American?
so ke loi na ne ko ka ai ki a ke ni na ke chi ti ngi chan ke ka chi to pan America
Who would allow these people to say, you can't tell us what's right and wrong because you're not American? Who believes the following?
ye ngai ke ni ngai gam na ne America na le be ke para chan be ke ale na ni yin ina ra ti chi le ba yi ku le ta chi le ba tek tok ba le wo chan ni cha America
So just tell me if this is what you said. Who believes this is right, that the Americans can say, don't tell us what to do? Is that what you said?
ye ngai gam na ne na le America ye ne ke le ke ne a che yi ama ke yi ye ngai gam na ne ke ne le be ya ka pet
Do you have authority?
nang ria ra chan ba wet ba American ba ka wet chan be ke le ku be ke gam
Do you have authority?
nang ria
Do you have wisdom?
nang ni
Do you have understanding
nang adete
to go to an American and tell them they don't know what they're doing?
bala pan American ku ba ka yok na ne ke loy ke a ku ke
Put your hands up if you don't think you have that ability.
na chin te tang ke na chan badil wet nang American ku ba ke chou pin ne ke tak ke tao chin ne tang yang ai gam na ra ke chi wet lo
As a messenger of God,
ke chin ne le lo chan ba wet
do you think you don't have that power,
ye tak na ni nin chin ri ke
that right,
yi ken
that ability?
rier de nom chin tang de nom ke ni chin ne le gami
So no one put their hand up.
kran che chin jan ne
So you all agree that you have the authority and the wisdom and the power to do that.
so yin ai ka dil gam na ne we nang rier ki chi cha ka American chan badil tak
In 2018,
Runali pen ku tier ku bet
when the midnight cry is being given,
kon chin pi de chot dit de were chin ye begam
the Americans
ko ke pan America
stand up and say, you cannot tell us how to direct and order our lives because you're not American.
so America na chiret bi ja na ku le yin nin ti le boy yo bu ku pi de bu ku cha de chani nin cha America
Is that right?
kene yi
Is that how God operates?
kene ne te ne ale lui ti
America for the Americans?
pan America ke da America
No.
chen te ne ale lui ti
The same year,
run tong kene
the same Americans
American tong kene
come to Africa,
ben Africa
and the Africans say what?
ko cha African bela ke
What did they say?
ko cha bela ke
Africa is for
Africa
Africans.
so a che bela ke na Africa ke Africa
Don't bring your United States morality here.
Done chok de pi de pan America done beaten.
We don't want your cultural issues here
Wochi chok de pan pi done pan America chu ko de ten.
because we're not American.
Chan wo wochi ko ke pan America.
We're African.
Wo pan Africa.
And you know what the Americans said?
Yo ti ke bele
We agree with that.
kena yo ko gam
We won't interfere
wochi mishkila ne we kapuni
just as long as what? Just as long as you don't interfere in our business.
Cuman bi we chi we rod bi mar ne kayo ko taki.
They come here in August
Bende ne pe ne bet.
and they agree, we won't interfere in your business.
Wochi bi lo ne kaya ka loi
In October,
pa ti
they say,
ko ko le
what did they say in October?
ko chi bi le pa ti.
Don't interfere in our business.
Nani ne da we do ko lo ne kayo ko loi.
I want us to see a sequence.
Nang kar ki chat la ni ko bu ti.
16, 17, 18.
Runa le pen ko tier ko datam tier ko daro ko jela tier ko bet.
So the subject of nationalism is alive and well in this history.
Phía de biak de pan de yingak sira de abnyod ne akol kene.
And everyone who's not American knows it's ugly.
So Quran berani ni keceran pan Amerika ni chicken bi yingak ro da dom pan de chet chet.
Let me ask you a question.
Kau bagati to alkan.
Is it correct
Ye
for Americans
nang Amerika
to come to an African country
ben pan tong de baik Afrika
and impose their American values upon these African people?
ku be jog gene pi pan Amerika chan be town wonin ko ka pan Afrika.
They bring their Western mindset into an African country. You agree with that?
Bigi chok de nom yeke pi tin pan tueng ti bigi bay pan Afrika ko baga pi chi pi den gen ra ga nang ran gam e
What do you think?
yang ngai gam
You don't think it's correct?
chi lu bu de de nan ga ni
In America,
pan Amerika
at a camp meeting,
ne pi yok loi
forget at home, won't discuss at home yet. When you've finished your meal, you take your own plate and you take it to the kitchen.
so pan Amerika ku nang pi loi ku chap to ku chap ke tan do e dom ku lere te wonda ta
If you're a speaker,
na yeran pyo
you queue up like everyone else does.
ke yin ni ta pe mai chi man ye koi kok ye ke ye loi.
You don't get preferential treatment.
So in chin te loi to ke ni ja loi tin.
So when you come to Africa,
Na bar Afrika
should you impose that colonial perspective on African people?
le ba ken le ba dia ken le ba pe je koi ka pan Afrika ni ma chan bu gam na ne ka ma ne da ba ma chi tap.
Because the Africans say, we don't do that here.
Afrika ne ke le ken chu ko loi tin.
When you come to our country,
Na bar pan den
we respect you.
na bar pan Afrika ke ni ko riu.
You sit down
Nyo ji pi
and we serve you.
ngai ku ni mi.
Because that's how we do things.
Tenen ke te o ka loi.
Is that an American African problem?
Kini ye mishkila ne kam le Amerika ken Afrika.
Because
ya mishkila.
too many of us think that it is.
Aje ko oi. Eke delta ke ne ke yen kan.
The Americans thought it was.
Ko la Amerika ki.
They said that's how they do it in Africa. We should not interfere in their business.
So eke le tene ne ke tene lo in Afrika. Wo shi le bugula ne te de ne ke ka ke lo tin ke.
And everybody loved them.
Jel ko ke de jel kan ya.
And now,
Ko men
these non-Americans,
ko chi Amerika
European people,
ko ke pan de Europe.
and all their colonies,
Jela ko
now come into Africa,
ko je ke lo ku jel ke ben pan Afrika.
and we say you're not allowed to operate that way.
Ku jel Afrika jel ke yo ku le we ke ko pole chan ba ke lo ya.
You can't operate with your African culture anymore that way.
Ni chi le ba jal we chi le ba ke jal ko ni chok de pi de pan dun Afrika. Ne ko dun ke.
And so people don't like us.
Ko ja chi le ko wok ne.
They wish for the good old days when Future for America was running things.
So aja de ke tak ni na kul pe do de je pan akun nam the future for America de je ke pyo
And there was order.
kanga ke cha de pet.
The problem is,
Mishkila ke
too many of us see it this way.
ko ju ko wok ke ting ne dol ke ne.
And what we don't see
Ku chu ku ting.
is that the issues that we're confronted with are not nationalistic ones.
Na ne ke ju yo ka ta ke ben ke le rut a che ka ka pan de ni nge.
They're not cultural problems.
A che ka wen ke biak de cheng.
So let's not call these cultural issues because they're not.
So ka ga shi le bu ko chol ka wen ke biak de cheng cha na che ka ke biak de cheng.
We're dealing with principles and ideas that are antagonistic, that are against the principles of heaven.
Wo jam ne ka wen ye tek ku ye ke lu wen wai ke ne lu ka pa ne.
We've been doing this so long, we actually think they're nationalistic variations.
So, kena yo ku dilo ku buku chọc the way way kenim chipa de ni ngak buku del nyai
We will no longer allow this to happen.
chọc de ipa de ni ngak chi le buku ba par chan Brazil bat
We will no longer allow people from the West to come to the African continent and say, you can do what you want, we won't interfere.
way chi le buku coach pan twing pan the West buku ben Africa ko le ke we le bak ko nam du le bak lo way chi bilate
As long as you don't come and interfere in our business.
ke way chi te chi we bo chan bak ka ko ba be yore ni loy
And the reason that they take that position
ku ye ke ko ji ten buku gam
is because they think they're special.
ke ni nani a ko nom a ko way na ko ka
And there is none special, no, not one.
chiran ra loy tok chiran tok chin tok
So this issue
kena
of nationalism
ke de pa de ni ngak
is occurring in this history, as we've discussed,
o chira loy ni a ko kul kini ja ko kul ne chu jang
and the study on the nature of man has already begun.
ku chok de pye de tanaran e chu ko gol ni a ko kul kini ji
Of course,
ni
the issue of nationalism that's being addressed here
kanang biak de pye ye tek de pa de ni ngak ye nyot e chu ko pye ni a ko kul kini
between the Americans and the Africans
ne biak de African jala America
the framework in which the differences are being seen
cho la yuer de nyot de woy ke
is not because Americans don't like people whose skin is different colors.
a che nani ka American a chi ko nyar ko ja win woy ke ne del
It's not because they say, oh, you've got black skin, so therefore you behave differently.
so a che cho ke tak nani in nang del chul a in lu na lon wa che
What is interesting
ke te ke ja pe
is the differences and the similarities between the American and the non-American.
so ke te ke ja pe ko bu dil de e woy den ku jela tong den ne kam de ko ka na America ku jela ko cha America
They've all got their different ways of dealing with things.
a cheneng biak wa ye ke lui ye ke ka ke lui
Nationalism,
biak de pa de ni ngak
we call it racism.
e ku chol ting de tok biak de del chi cha ko
But the thing that connects these two people together
ki ye ko ka kunim ke ro ye ka bay ne ale tok
is that they agree on one thing.
ke ai tok ye ke gam
The relationship between men and women
nan kam de ti ku jela mo
is that men will take advantage of women
nan ro ai nang riere chan bi ke diar bi ke match
and they will suppress them.
ku ye ke chogum
They will limit their ability to achieve their dreams and their goals.
so ai diar ai ka ni ai nim pin bi ke tag den ye de diar ye ke kor bi ke nang ke yuk ni pi de ni e ke tan nam
That women will not be allowed to reach their potential.
nan diar ai chi ke pol chan bi ka de ti de chog de nom de bi ke yuk
So, through this issue of nationalism,
ni a ko kol kene de jam ne pa de ni ngak
its sister issue, the one of sexism, is joined together.
kene biak de kam de mo ku ti ka ke de a chat ne to
They both come here in 2018.
a chi ben banal ne runal pen ku ter ku bat
And what's interesting is,
ku te ke jaki
we're in 2020 now,
wota ne runal pen ku tro
and if I were to ask you,
ku na ti we
and I did,
we ta ke ti
Americans better than you, you said no.
we ta ke ti na America neng ke loy tok pier ka ret a war we ko ke le ka che
Can you go and tell Americans how to behave? Yes.
le ba jal ti chera na America ko lo ko yok bi ke pi re ni chok de cheng de pa ne le bra lo
Can you go and tell them that their understanding of their own systems of government are wrong? Yes.
le ba ke yok na ni der ye ke chok lo na kuma de ye ke de ti chi lo ke ni chok de professor ya watch chỉ là bao lâu
Simple example.
chứ mà này cần
The United States Constitution
lung miri Japan America
Who are the most qualified people to understand what that constitution means and how it should operate?
ấy nga lebih ki miri Japan America lebih ki date ku lebih nyo de luya de
If you ask an American, they'll tell you it's the Supreme Court.
so kuna tik koi Japan America ka luya ke ya ke undi de look undi de na long loy ke ne ka lebih ka
If
de
you ask an American in this movement,
na tik American ta ne ku nom ke ni
you get the same answer.
ke le ba be to ngale ba de ke yo
And that's the fight that's happening in 2018.
ye ne ka ke chira loy no na le pen ku ter ku ba
Because the non-Americans, the Europeans,
ne ke chi ko ka pa de Europe
are saying the people who are most qualified to understand United States constitutional law are non-Americans.
so ko ji ke chi ku ja bi le runa le pen ku ter ku ba ke ko ka pa na Europe chi ke bi le ko le adete de miri pa na America a ko cha America
AKA, you and I.
yin ku jala
We're the ones that are most qualified.
o kai le bu ku na adete de miri pa na America
Because we understand the prophetic rules of interpretation.
chan wo ka ku de ti wo nang lom ka geri de wil ka nyot
And time has shown us that we were correct.
ku ka chi ta chi wo pi tin ka na chi nyot na ni ku ka nang yi
Because every single American that did not agree with us has now left the movement.
na ne ran ben pa na America che mat ka na wo lom ka Bible chi ja ne ku nom ka ni
It took a year for that to happen.
chi ron to ka chi jot ta chan be ka ne brat loy
So I want to put you on warning now.
we kor ba ka ni le man
If you have a protectionist perspective,
na nong tang a woni ro tat ta chan barat gel
whilst at the same time claiming to uphold the truth,
ku ne ta to ka el na ni yin mug yit ka ne le
you've got about 12 months before you leave this movement.
so yin nang pe ke tier pro ni nom pen ku ba ja le ku nom ke ni
The separation is coming.
teng de cha bo
It's already beginning to happen in our movement.
ku kana lo ro ne ku nom ka da ni
It's based upon these very issues.
kana aka ne ke long ki chu ka le le
And back here in 16,
du grat na da le pen tier ku da tem
where the Americans are already getting it wrong,
so an chin ko ka pa na America chi ke ja beting ke lo ke
where, where we're given the prophetic tools to deal with that issue,
so ko che long ka Bible nyot ta chu ka bi nyot ta chan bu ku ke ne bu ku chop pin
you have all the help that you need.
so wo nang ke kor le bi yin ko
By the time you get to 18, it's finished.
còn dấu bên là Ronald Lipen của tier của bé
1 year later, in 19,
của run to cái là Ronald Lipen của tier của đồng anh
they've left the movement.
của cái nhà này của đồng cái này
Each of us
ngang núi
are going to go through a similar path
của bên đây là này chỉ kiến trong cái này
if we don't become cognizant of what is going on.
thì chua pai của bút chính nhiều mà lời rồi
They get the mistakes here.
cái ôi chẳng biết cái đấy thì lương cái movement
They tell you they agree.
Lipen của tier của đấy quay cái lời này của gắm
In 18, they're going to fight.
Ronald Lipen của tier của bé
In 19, they leave.
của gol cái tor cái nào của nó này Ronald tier của đồng anh cái dân nào của nó
We're about to go through the same process now
wo cái thế này wala này chỉ kiến trong ấy nhé mẹ
over the same issues
này trong này cái anh trong còn các cái
about organization,
bia cái vấn đề duyệt cái nào cũng nằm duyệt
how this movement implements instruction and law.
cho cái nào cũng nằm cái này yên luôn yên cái duyệt
Do we go to another country
yo cũng là pan đó
and the country says, do we do it this way?
cũng lười là cũng nằm cái này cái cũng lười đấy
We will not say you can carry on doing it your way.
cái chi là bút lười quay là bác là chuyện cũng lười cái chi chọn cái quay lười cái
Will not take this protectionist perspective.
bia cái vấn đề này cần cái coi rất ghê cái này chi là bút lười bút quay phải là đơn gần
Because we're not of this world.
quay chơi coi cái bên nhau
And the issues that we're addressing
cũng cái gì mà cái thế này mà
are universal principles
ai cả vấn các mai pin no ben
not nationalistic cultural problems.
a che ka pa ne inga ni ching ye ke ching
In order to assist us in this work,
a chan buku rut gel ne lo ai ke ni buku rut ko ne lo ai ke ni
19,
Runali pen ku tier ku donga
we have everything that we need to succeed.
wonang ka gi chin ne le ke yen wo ke chan buku tier
If I were to ask you, are you succeeding? You're all going to say yes.
so na thi we na ne tiem ka le ke nam wo tier
To help us,
chan buku rut ko
we're going to have a new study.
wo beneng phi jut
And what will the subject be?
yong vea ke buku le
The nature of man.
chok da ran
God has shown us that He's going to deal with this issue in two parts, in two
ne
dispensations.
le che chu nyot na ne chok da ran bi nyot ne ri kero
The one that we're going to address in this dispensation
cái vô dầm nghe đi trâu thế này này
is the subject of habits.
thấy cho đại chiết đàn chân đàn
This is going to be the overarching theme that's going to help us either pass or fail this dispensation.
so cái này vô nhọt nên buku rin trâu thế cái này buku tâm để buku tiam cả buku huy
The nature of man.
chọc đàn
It will come this year.
bên này cái này
We could describe it in different ways.
là buku le dulu watch
The outer person,
chọc đàn Long Beach
the body,
work
resurrection,
generate
all about our behavior.
cho cái vô thật thìn cô coi cái này là
Will be confronted with the difference between men and women,
của giờ là vô để cam để thịt của mình
between different nationalities,
vô để biết để cam để bay cọc watch
all comes under the title of habit.
các cái bên nếu phía chú cô lên chú cô gón nằm cái chân đủ
This is going to explain and help us navigate our way through this time period.
so cô cái này nó cả bia chuyện cái này bị lưỡi lên bên có vô nhọt bố cha ta đi nếu ta trâu tên cái này
We had enough information back here
vô nằm phía gì tới đấy nếu runali pen của thier của đồng á
to know how to address the issues that are confronting this movement,
của bố cái nhích bố cái duyệt giao của nằm cái này cái lớn bố cái nhọt tới đi bố cái chọc cái này đấy
when it comes to the issue of what we eat,
để biên việc để cái yếu của chấm
drink,
phía của đếch
wear,
yếu của chén
occupy our time,
cái là bố ta đã là lom là bố của lom
how and where we live,
yếu của chén này đi
which we call reforms.
cái này yếu của cho shopping
We had everything here.
วันนั้นกันก็เดียด
And now we're going to do a study on this,
ว่าวันนั้นพี่เนี่ยอยากได้แค่ค่ะ
and it will only confirm what we already know.
ตัวว่าไปยามนะกันเนี่ยจะเกี่ยวกันแต่
And the test will begin to happen now.
เดี๋ยวเราเต็มบินก็เต็มเวลาก็เลยลอยแท้
Not a singular issue,
เจ็ดตก
a multifaceted problem
ก็ดีด้วย
under the title of
ว่าจะ
under the title of equality,
ในเบียกเดทุ่งเดนม
nationalistic equality,
เบียกในปานเดยิ่งแอบทุ่งอีที่กูไม่ทุ่งแค่นี้
and sexual equality.
เดี๋ยวเราเบียกก็เป็น bia ka win de bay tong ke ya la bia ka win de kam de ti ko mo tong ke
If you're struggling with this issue now,
na de ki yer win ka ke me
if it's not clear in your mind,
ke ne dot cho pin nin nam
you will fail when we're going to be tested
ke yin be dil yi ke le no wotem
in a much stronger fashion on the issue of gender.
te le no wotem ne biak de cho de mo ke tik
So I want to remind us as we close.
we kor ba wa tak nin man ti wo ken
2020, we're already well into the year now,
so what a man ne ron kini runa le pen ko tro
the month of January is virtually gone. January's finished.
pa thir pa to ka tok
We have months.
won en pe
Elder Tess has already put you on warning that the increase of knowledge will occur this year.
so nyan ka da tes chuek tao chuek nyil na ne jong da ra ni bra lo ne run kini
I've already told you this study will be put into place this year.
so ko cha ka le ye pye cho bu rom ne run kini
Those things have to happen before Panium.
so kaka ko bu ko lo angot ko kol paniam ke ke be
And if here in this congregation,
man ya ko nom kini
we cannot deal with the very basic and easy issues that confront men and women,
wo chi le bu jam ne biak de ka dien ne pa pe ye biak yiro dia re ke no
you'll be swept away.
ti chu jam ne ke ko wo le bu jal
When the stronger tests come upon us, which they soon will.
wo le bu jal te le ke di do tem te len ben
People are failing the test on reforms.
ko ja yek ne biak tem won de chuk pin
That should never even been an issue
kene chi le biak de
because of the subject of the will,
kene biak de pyo lech
but it's going to be addressed here.
ku kene bu jam te ne ten
We've already laid out the logic in the last 3 weeks
so yen ne ke chu ta pin ke bu ngor ne pye dai ne is bo ke dia wa chi la
of why the reform message that we have is still correct, still has integrity.
so ne biak de pye de chuk pin to ke ne wo de ke ni ku de ke nong rier chan de ke pye wo
People, not only in this country, not only in the continent of Africa, but throughout the world,
ne pin no me ben che pa an ke ne to ko che pa an Africa pin no me ben
but it does seem to be a problem in this part of the world in particular.
so ko yen che de la mishkila ret ne biak de chuk pin ne biak de pin nam ka wo tin ke ni
That people do not understand how equality works.
ko ken chok de tong de nom ken ke de
They don't understand the relationship between a man and a woman.
ke ge de yong ye mat ne kam de yitik ke ne mo
If we don't understand how to deal with reforms,
na kin ku de yong yoko chok pin yoko lo de
if men don't know how to treat women,
na chi ro chi ke ni che dia re ke ko je ke lo de
when we come to the next great issue on this subject, we will fail.
ne ke di be ben ne pye chong ke ni ko wo ko betem ke ne bu ko yit
This is why we're laboring so much
ku ke ne ka yem wok tin re ku ne ka pye wo
on these issues,
ne ka ke
whilst at the same time
ne ta thong
preparing God's church for Daniel 11 verse 41, which is soon to come upon us as an overwhelming surprise.
so man ku wo ke da wo yit ka ni se de ne le akokol Daniel tir ko tok chok ter man ko diak ter man ko tok man be ben ke da gai nang wo ko ben
Pay attention to what's going on.
chok wo yit pin ne ka lo ro de me
God is the God of order. God is the God of order. He does things in order.
ne le kang loy na ju
It's clear to us
la char nang wo
when we observe the dynamics that are going on here
te de wo ne ka lo ro ka wa je tin
too many of us in this congregation are failing the test.
ko ju ko wo yi nya ko num ke ni ayuek achi tem chi cái tiệm
We're not here to condemn.
wo chi to thế nè chan bu ko bu
We're
ko
here-
cha wai
We're here to identify
wo to thế nè chan bu ko ting
and to assist.
bu ko kon
We're not your enemy when we tell you these things,
wo che adu kon le lo cái ka
but we can't be like those Americans
wo le bu ko ya wo chi le bu ko thong wo ne ka American one
who came to Africa
còn thì bên pan Africa
and said it's okay
về cái cà phê này
for women and men
nóng đi ăn rồi
to continue in their dysfunctional way, which is against the laws of heaven.
với cái giá thì cái chat luôn cái nông liệp thì luôn quay luôn cái pan này
And to cloak that rebellion with the name of culture.
của ba gạt chín nó coi gạt này là chín cái bao cung cầu cái chơi chèn
Let none of us do that.
nếu chỉ ra đồ work thì mình bị cái này rồi
And if you do, you should stop now before
này
it's
rồi
too late.
cái nào còn và đi coi nhé mình ở ngồi cái gà
Let's pray.
đang
Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for your goodness and your mercy. We want to ask and pray that you would guide and direct us in the study and meditation of your word. Lord, as we see how easy it is to fail tests, as we see that we do not hold on to the past and apply those rules and principles in the present, that we will fail in the future. There are people who are bowing before you here, who have walked through that history that led to the leader of this movement falling into the wicked world below. They saw the steps that he had taken. They saw the danger that he exposed himself to. But they saw, Lord, how he was unwilling to change. We're now experiencing that same phenomena amongst ourselves. May each of us not have a similar fate, but rather may each of us attain unto life eternal. It's your will that we should. We have the ability and the opportunity to do so if we remain faithful. It's my prayer that each of us have an examination of whether or not we are in the faith or whether we're in the world. Be with us and bless us, Father, we pray in Jesus' name.